Hey, horror fans, once again, it's the Horror by Zamani G, and today we're going to talk about Leatherface. Now, Leatherface is a 2017 American horror film. It was directed by Julian Murray and Alexander Pristillo, written by Seth M. Sherwood, and it stars Stephen Dorff, Vanessa Grace, Sam Strike, and Lily Taylor. This is the 8th film in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, and this works as a prequel to the 74 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It actually is a prequel to the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it basically explains about the origins of Letterface when he is a kid, and how he grew, and eventually how he will grow up to become one of horror icon's greatest villains, Leatherface. Now, as the story takes place, we see the kid named as Jebediah, who they call affectionately called Jeb, celebrating a birthday today, and we see his family Verna and his so-called brothers and Grandpa Sawyer are celebrating his birthday today. And then later on, after the tragedy where Sheriff Hartman's daughter is killed by the Sawyer family, Sheriff Hartman decides to take Jebediah away from Verna because he calls her child endangerment, and places him in the Gorman Institute along with other crazy juvenile delinquents that have mental problems. We skip ahead 10 years later and we see several children. And obviously, one of them is supposed to be Jebediah, but we don't know who he is. And eventually, when all the breakout at the facility takes place, we see several of the kids leave the facility. We have Clarice and Ike, who are two sociopathic lovers who just enjoy killing. We have a mentally disturbed kid named Bub. We have this guy named Jackson, and then they kidnap a nurse named I forget what her name is. They kidnap a nurse, and they go on the road, and we're supposed to figure out which one is actually the true dead Jebediah or Jed, who eventually become Leatherface. Now, people have strong opinions about this film. Obviously, some people enjoyed it. They think it's probably the second best film of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. Some people don't like it. They feel as though this is even worse than Texas Chainsaw 3D. What do I think about this movie? Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know what I think about this movie. This movie's terrible. I mean, there's nothing good about this picture. Oh, I mean, there are some good parts in it, and I'm pretty sure Seth M. Sherwood, who wrote this picture, probably thought he had a very intriguing story, and there are some good elements in it. I'll say some of the good stuff is there's the film does earn its R rating because there's some violent kills in here. There are some gory scenes in here, and the kills are very violent, and the kills are very violent. So I do praise them on that. But the way this film is executed is just terrible. I mean, I know who the real Jebediah was probably a mile away, probably about the time that they finally got to the institution 10 years later. And that's not good, for if you're trying to if you're trying to fool your audience on something that was remotely untrue. I mean, you're cheating your audience, and I don't know if that was Seth's fault or was it Julian or Andrea's fault for how they directed and how they executed this film. I mean, I'll give Stephen Dorff credit and Lily Taylor credit. I mean, they do what they can with the roles, but I think Lily Taylor is miscast as Verna. She doesn't appear to be that rough woman that would raise a bunch of crazy behind boys as the Sawyer family are. I think she's more of a type of a role mother that she played on The Conjuring. That role is more believable than the role she does here. Stephen Dorff, he does what he can as obviously a sheriff who is determined to destroy this family because what they did to his daughter. He's strictly out for revenge. But nobody else does anything. I mean, really don't care about Clarice and Ike. They're just two crazy people that want to kill each other and want to kill everybody. And they're just there to kill other people and then have the film earn their R rating. Vanessa Grace, she does what she can as the nurse who simply just wants to take everybody, but there's no cohesive story here. Nothing works. There's no tension building in here. Like I said, if you watch this film, you'd be absolutely stupid not to guess who the real Jebediah is. That doesn't work for me. I mean, it's like if you're going to do something like they did here, at least try to make the attempt to make the audience guess who it is, and also make the reveal very surprising. there's nothing surprising about this film. So, like I said before, other than how the film looks okay. They shot it pretty well. Obviously, they had some nice exteriors and some nice sets. So I give them credit for that. But other than that, the story's off. The story is way off. The acting is not good enough. The reveal about who Jebediah was unsatisfactory. I mean, even the kills, even though some of them were gory, were uneventful as well. So on my scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Leatherface a 3. So horror fans, what do you think about Leatherface? Do you really thought that this was a good inclusion for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Does it bring anything new to the series? Or is it just the same old ho hum that we've seen before? Leave your comments down in your comment section below and tell me what you thought about Leatherface. So, horror fans, that's my video for today. I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you can become part of the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as usual, all my social media links will be down in the description below as well. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And I'm also part of a group on Facebook called Killer Flicks, where we talk about horror all day long, and on Fridays is Free for All Friday. So we definitely are talking about the Justice League. Matter of fact, I will have my thoughts on the video of the Justice League coming up this weekend as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember, horror rules.